can't just remember the Alamo, we've got to save the Alamo. So that's why we're voting for you, Miguel. The next person I wanted to introduce is our next comptroller, Joy Chevalier.
Hey, Joy.
Joy is going to serve as our Chief Tax Assessor and Collector. So this is going to be the most exciting speech on taxes you have ever heard.
Come out, sober up, and be a meaningful part of my community. I created a low-income housing agency that put over 750 units of housing on the ground in Houston, Texas. I created Houston's Homeless Recovery Court, and I have served as a judge for over 13 years now. I am Judge Stephen Kirkland. I am your choice for Texas Supreme Court. Let's choose justice.
We are electing a set of values. Show me how you spend your money, I will show you what you care about. And frankly, I trust Joy to do a good job, not only for this generation, but for the next generation. This next candidate I'm going to introduce is so important when we look at, frankly, the assault on our justice system. We have a president and administration that has forgotten that we are a country of laws. Right? And so many of the attorney generals are frankly leading the fight, right? The fight that is happening in our justice system. So we need an attorney general that is going to fight to protect our dreamers, not fight against them. We need an attorney general that is going to fight to make sure that nobody is discriminated against because of who they love. And we need to fight for somebody, we need an attorney general that's going to fight for working families all across our state, and that person is Justin Nelson.
Are we going to win?
A wonderful job of making sure Lupe has what she needs to put our state on the right track. I want to make sure to recognize one other candidate in the audience, Judge Gloria Saldana. If you'll stand up, she is running for Bexar County Court number 9. It is my honor to introduce to you Lupe Valdez. She is a veteran. She is a lifelong public servant. She is the pride of 78207. And like myself, we're also going to make history. You know why? Because when we win our offices, it'll be the first time those offices are served by a Mustang. Lupe graduated from Jefferson High School. I am the John Jay High School. I thought I was going to go somewhere else with that, didn't you? Why am I so excited about Lupe? You're going to hear why she's so great for our state, but Lupe has never forgotten what it's like to be that kid that needs a little bit of help. There are 2.2 million people in this country that do not have insurance because their governors did not expand under the ACA. 1/4 of those people live in our state. 1/4. Our public education system is under assault from Austin. Lupe Valdez, when you hear about her life story, knows exactly why public education is so important. And again, as we move forward and show people the new Texas, the person leading that is going to be your next governor, Lupe Valdez. November 6th. I thought Kathy was going to drop the mic versus So look, we've got a president and administration that wants to gag Lady Justice, not just make sure she's blind, which is why it's so important that we elect Joe Gonzalez, we elect Steve Kirkland, Ramona Franklin, and Kathy Chang. bring up Roman McAllen, who's the Democratic nominee for Railroad Commissioner. So the title is misleading because you will not oversee the railroad industry in Texas. What they actually oversee are oil and gas regulations, a key part of our economy, but also our public health moving forward. So we look forward to hearing from you, Roman.
Now, how many of you in here are fired up? Awesome. Well, I'm so excited. I see so many faces that I now call family. So thank you so much for coming out this evening or this afternoon. I'm going to announce some of our electeds and candidates that are here that are not speaking. So if I don't list you, it's because we have you on the roster and you will be speaking this afternoon. But may I have, please, Mary Angie Garcia for District Clerk, please stand. Thank you, Mary Angie. I have Leo Pacheco for Representative. May I see Mr. Pacheco? Do I see him? He just stepped out. I'm so sorry. I also have Michael De Leon for Judge. Veronica Vasquez for Judge. I have Gloria Mihan. Oh, wonderful. Awesome. Thank you, Gloria. Now, all other candidates and electeds that we have listed will be speaking this afternoon. But I am just so excited, and I am so proud to announce and to welcome one of San Antonio's own, Congressman Joaquin Castro.
Thank you, Monica. Isn't she doing a great job? Thank you for everything you're doing. How's everybody feeling? Are you ready to win in November? I'll tell you, I believe that this November we are going to elect new statewide Democrats for the first time in 20-something years. Somewhere in the city here. I think Beto O'Rourke will beat Ted Cruz. I think it will take back the House of Representatives in the United States Congress and put a check in President Trump. But none of that happens, y'all know, without a lot of hard work. And I know a lot of people have been working very hard and making sure that more people get engaged in voting. And that's why we're here today, to make sure that we keep up our energy and our passion, but also to spread the word to our friends and our neighbors, and usually people that don't always come out and vote. So I wanted to say thank you for doing all that you're doing, but we have to make sure that as we get closer to November, we do even more. And that's especially to honor our candidates who are working their asses off across the state and across the county to win in November. So to Lupe and to Mike and to Justin and to everybody that's running statewide, thank you on behalf of Democrats for taking on this challenge. We're behind you in November. You know that I've been working in Washington to take on this administration that should not be separating young kids from their mothers and fathers at the border. To push back against a president that should not sell out the United States of America to Vladimir Putin and Russia. And also, y'all know, really, to fight for the kind of state and nation that we all believe in, one that is a place of opportunity for everybody. We need a governor and a lieutenant governor who are not more concerned about giving million-dollar contracts, hundreds of millions of dollars in no-bid contracts to their friends, more concerned about that than people being able to get a good education for their kids, to get health care, to get a good job, to get all of it. And I believe that the people of Texas have finally had enough with folks like Greg Abbott and Dan Patrick. So Lupe, we're with you. Mike, we're with you. Justin, everybody, very best of luck in November. Thank y'all for being here today.
Do we have any Democrats in the house? How's everyone doing? for me to stand up here. I am running for Texas's 23rd congressional district. More importantly, though, I am somebody that went to high school just down the road from here. And when people ask me, Gina, why are you in this race? I say very simply, I am running to protect the opportunities that allowed me to grow up healthy, get an education, and serve my country. Something everybody in this country should be able to do. So as the good congressman just mentioned, many of the questions that we are asking ourselves today, who are we as Americans? Who are we as Texans? What kind of country are we? What kind of country does the next generation of Americans deserve? We are answering those questions every single day, and we will answer that question on November 6th. Will we not? Yes! I want to share just a little bit with you about the district. We've just been on the road. This is the largest congressional district that is not its own state. Right, so when they say it's bigger and better in Texas, we have shown them that it is. As I travel the district, though, what does everyone want to talk about? Healthcare. Healthcare, healthcare, healthcare. And why is it important for me? Because I remember when I came back from Iraq and my mother surprised me, in fact, and said, you know, while you were gone, I was diagnosed with colon cancer, and I had immediate surgery to have that, have it addressed, have it taken. Now, granted, thankfully it was early. But I also was raised by a single mother, and I know exactly what it's like when your healthcare plan is, I hope you don't get sick. And so while my background is in national security, 14 years in and out of uniform, every country that I've served in, every country that we've studied, the reason we are in fact doing that, what do they lack? A strong middle class. Right? And that starts then with investing in immigration, starts with investing in healthcare, starts with investing in public education. So I very much look forward to protecting the opportunities, again, that allowed me to grow up healthy, get an education, and serve my country. That starts, though, with you. You know, this is called the Blue Wave Rally. The Blue Wave is not the people here running for office. The wave is actually in this audience. You are the wave. You are the ones that are going to bring this change that we so desperately need. You're not running to elect Lupe. You're not here to just elect Lupe. You're not here just to elect Gina Ortiz Jones and Mike Collier. You are running for the 1 in 10 kids in this country that goes to school in Texas. Right? You are protecting the opportunities. When you make a phone call, when you knock on the doors, you are running to ensure that we do better than a state that has 1 in 6 Texans that is uninsured. Right? We are running to protect, again, the opportunities that are so core not only to our middle class, but to the future of this country. So with that, thank you again for making time. I know it's hot outside, but we've got to again elect representation that really knows that representative is both their function and their title, and I look forward to doing that. Senator Jose Menendez.
Gina. So let's hear it. Let's give it again to Gina Ortiz Jones. Look, we're the choir here, but here's what we need to have. We need to have a very cohesive message. What's the message? The message is that we're running to take our country back. That everyone on the ballot here has aspirational goals. That when you look at Joe Gonzalez, you know that he's going to work for restorative justice, so that we're not treating the mentally ill in our jails, so that we're not sending kids to jail to become professional criminals, that we understand that we're a better country, that we know that she wants to have every little girl have the same ability to get an education and to make something of herself, regardless of what part of town she lives on. Those ads are great, Lupe, I love them, but you know what? Children shouldn't have to travel 2 hours on a bus just to get a good education. Every single neighborhood deserves good schools. You know what? We shouldn't have a teacher in North Texas die of the flu because her copay is too high. It should never happen in Texas, one of the wealthiest states in the nation and the wealthiest country in the world. How can we sit idly by while the healthcare costs keep going up and up and up for our teachers? They don't get any more money. Their co-pays go up. They can't afford the medicines, and they don't buy it, and then they can't even afford to take their grandkids to get some ice cream. And so let me tell you, we're hearing the cries for help day in and day out. But what we need to do is get the message out that if you want change, it requires that we are all part of that solution. So I want to thank all the candidates that are here. They've been named. Let me tell you, I have never seen candidates working harder than the candidates we have in our Democratic. We should be very proud of every one of these Democrats. They are working their rear ends off, and they know why. Because they can hear the cries for help in the community. And these aren't cries of, oh, poor me. These are things that are just, it breaks your heart. And it should never happen. And we can do better. And so we're the choir here, but we've got to get that message out there. And it's not enough that we're, you know, we all want to get rid of someone who thinks he should be a dictator and that people should stand up when he walks in the room, or that people should come to attention, that he gushes over people like Putin. That's not enough. That's not enough. We know everyone in this country that can read a book knows he's bad for the country. And so it's more than that. We have got to show folks what we're going to do, how we're going to make things better. And that's why it's so exciting to have incredible candidates like yours hearing from today. Because candidates that have it in their heart, tienen corazón y tienen ganas, they're going to go out there and they're going to make it happen. And the other thing that I love about our ballot is the diversity. The diversity in every aspect, whether it be racial diversity, whether it be orientation, gender preference, socioeconomic, you name it. I think that the Democratic slate of candidates is reflective of our state and the population of our state. And so, folks, we need you all excited, like I'm excited, to get behind every one of these candidates and say, what can I do? And we're going to do everything we can so that Democrats, from the very top of the ticket to the bottom of the ticket, all the way across, win. And let me tell you, in San Antonio, even though we have gotten to be bluer and bluer, it's not a sure thing because of some of the internal dynamics that are going on, some of the local politics that are going to drive some of these questions that are happening. We can't take anything for granted, because I don't want to happen the nightmare like we had 2 years ago when we all woke up after the election. That's right. And we wanted to be sick to our stomachs, and we said, how could that happen? I want you to remember that pain. I want you to remember that nausea. I want you to remember the tears of the children, because I saw them firsthand in my house, the tears of fear and concern of kids. And remember that should never happen again. And it won't happen because we won't let it. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I need you to go grab people by the collar and say, vamos a votar. We're going to go make this happen. Thank you very much.
We are so happy and so honored to have such great representation. And now I want to bring to the stage our nominee for Bexar County District Attorney, Joe Gonzalez.
Can I hear some noise, Bexar County Democrats? Let me tell you that this is the party of the people. If you don't believe it, look around. Look at the diversity in this auditorium. Look at the people of color. If you remember the last time you saw a National Republican party or convention being televised, you had to strain yourself to see that. Right? The last time you saw the state Republican convention, you had to strain your eyes to see what you see here. This truly is the people, the party of the people. And I want to tell you that it warms my heart to hear people like Gina Jones talk about that she has the same upbringing I did, that I was raised by a single mother, that I hear the same story that Lupa Valdez told earlier this year when I went to the Willie Velasquez fundraiser. She tells a very heartwarming story about the fact that she had to travel across town to go to school, and she noticed she was the only person with mud on her shoes because she had to walk to go to school, and the other kids didn't. That was heartwarming to me. I almost cried when I heard that story from Lupe. I have a little bit of a story myself. I remember when I was in high school and I decided I wanted to withdraw from chemistry. I told my chemistry teacher that I didn't need this class, and she said, why? I said, because I plan to go to law school. She looked at me and she said, you know what? She laughed and she said, people like you don't go to law school. People like you become plumbers and electricians and refrigerator guys, but you don't go to law school. You know what? I proved her wrong. I put myself through college and put myself through law school, and here I am today. And folks, the reason I'm running for district attorney is because I feel a sense of public service. I'm very fortunate. I was blessed with a good career. I was blessed with a beautiful family. It's now time to give back. And this is what I want to do. And let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am running, somebody asked me this morning at a town hall that was sponsored by Chief McManus, what is the difference between you and your Republican opponent? And in a nutshell, folks, while he's talking about being tough on crime, I'm going to be talking about being smart on crime. Yes, we want to prosecute those most violent offenders, those people that need to be sent to prison. But by the same time, or at the same time, I want to look at what is called restorative justice, as the senator mentioned. There are people that are first-time offenders. There are youths that make mistakes. I want to look at those cases and see if there's an opportunity to divert their path, to turn their lives around so they become productive citizens and don't end up with convictions on their record. That's what I want to do. Folks, I have a lot of ideas about how I can bring progress and bring true criminal justice reform to the DA's office. I don't have time to go over everything with you, but I will leave you with this. I have been told that I am at the top of a local ticket, and I am well aware of my responsibility, and I embrace it. I am ready to roll up my sleeves, and I am ready to bring victory to Bexar County for the Democratic Party. But folks, I can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. These great slate of candidates need your help. We need you to help us. We need you to tell 10 of your friends, and those 10 friends need to tell their 10 friends to not forget to vote in November. Please tell everyone that you vote, or rather that you know, to vote in November. But before we get there, there's something else we need of you. We need volunteers. We need good people from this auditorium, from this community, to volunteer. We need people manning the phones. We need people block walking. We need people to get excited about the Democratic Party in Texas, because we want to send a message to Greg Abbott, and we want to send a message to Donald Trump. So please roll up your sleeves alongside me and the rest of the slate of these great candidates and help us out. And remember, sí se puede. Yes, we can. And together we will bring victory in November to the Democratic Party. Que Dios les bendiga. God bless everyone. Thank you very much.
That we not only support Joe, but we also support Judge Ramona Franklin. She is the Democratic nominee for Texas's Court of Criminal Appeals, place 7. And as she makes her way up here, you know, Texas has one of the largest prison populations in the country, right? Over 120,000 folks. So it's not only important that we elect Joe, but we also elect Judge Ramona Franklin.
Judge Ramona Franklin, and I am the current judge of the 338th Criminal District Court in Harris County, Texas. Our great state of Texas. Right now, we are at a pivotal time in history. You see, because the nation is looking at us in Texas. The nation is looking to see how are we going to dispense justice in our state. Are we going to deny children due process? No. That's not what we want want to be known for? Are we going to deny the persons who don't have a lot of money the process and due process to be able to appeal their cases? No. Are we just going to incarcerate individuals because they don't have enough funds to be able to fight for their cases? No. So you see, this is the time that we have to make sure that we are the monitors and that we are the gatekeepers of justice.
Yes.
That right now we make sure that our youth, our millennials understand that they too are the gatekeepers of justice. We need to make sure that we go out, and when we go out, we make sure that we register people to vote, that we encourage others to vote, that we go out and we knock on doors, we phone bank, we do everything that we can to make sure that the nation, when they look at the great state of Texas, that they understand that it's very clear that we are the gatekeepers of justice, not only for our great state of Texas, but for our nation. And we are not a nation that will sit by and idly let people's due process rights be just trampled upon. So again, make sure that when you all go out, make sure that you knock on the doors, because again, you want to be on the side of history when you can tell your grandchildren, you say, you know what, in 2018, I was a gatekeeper of justice and I made a difference. So go out and make sure that you vote for Lamar Franklin for the judge of Court of Criminal Appeals, Place 7. Thank you so much.
A couple of candidates and elected officials that are here with us today, so if you just stand up, wave so everyone can see the face they're going to vote for in November. Judge David J. Rodriguez, who's running for Bexar County Court at Law number 3. Claire Barnett, nominee for Texas House District 122. Where are you, Claire? Steve Kling, I see him right here in the second row, nominee for Texas Senate. We've got State Rep Roland Gutierrez, who's running for Texas Senate. Where are you, Roland? For those that don't know, that's a special election. So you've got until the end of the month. That's not in November. That's happening right now. So make sure you know if you can vote in that election, and make sure you vote. Okay, with that, I want to introduce Judge Stephen Kirkland, who is running. He's a Democratic nominee for Texas Supreme Court, Place 2.
Good afternoon, San Antonio. Thank you for having us. I am Judge Stephen Kirkland, and I am your candidate for Texas Supreme Court, Place 2. Now, there's 5 of us running for the statewide judicial offices, and any given day we are scattered out across the state, and we get it. We understand. We know that there is nothing sexy about voting for judge. We know that. We know that when you're out knocking on doors and making phone calls and doing all the good things that good campaign volunteers do, you're doing it for those sexy folks, like that tall El Pasoan out from El Paso, or, you know, maybe that Latina from Dallas. Even the accountant from Kingwood is more sexy than your judges, so we get that. So let me give you some reasons why you need to care about judges and how you get people to care about judges with you. If you care about the environment, you need to tell them they got to care about judges. If they, yes, that's right. If you care about consumer rights, you need to tell them they care about judges. If you care about marriage equality, you got to tell them they care about judges. If you care about education, you got to care about judges. And I know we care about education. And every one of those issues has been presented and argued before the Texas Supreme Court in the last 3 years. And every opportunity the Republicans on that court had a chance to do right by you, they made the wrong choice. Well, Texas Democrats, we have choices too, and I say let's choose justice.